This is a story about my first time getting into a car accident, and it was nearly fatal. Now, before I get into the accident itself, I have to explain the context. How did I end up here? What happened? Why did I get in the accident? So the night of the accident, I was out with two of my friends and we were on Instagram Live. I had an iced cup of Hennessy, and I was just turning up. We were walking around Coney Island on the boardwalk, just talking smack to viewers and getting a good laugh. It was just like a regular night. I was there with one of my closest homies, and I was there with one of my closest female homies at the time. We all had a couple drinks, something to sip in the iced cup. And while we were out there, before the Instagram Live, like early in the night, it drizzled just a little bit. That's a key point. Here are a couple clips from my Instagram Live video so you guys can see how I was.
Yeah, that's the routine. We get the ass shaking, you put the cup on the ass. That's how we do it, man. It's a movie. Yo, listen, if anybody pulls up on us, they could get in my live. Everybody could get in my live. Y'all welcome. Put the pinky out. I don't have no more Henny left. Oh. Yo, if you're in this live right now, donate some Henny, because the bottle is in the car and nobody's trying to go to the car. So
anyways, we ended up leaving Coney Island. We met some new people, and then we just decided to drive off to Wendy's. So I left my two friends in the car. They egged me on to go to Wendy's and talk to the young lady that was working there. So I go spit a little Mac. I come back to the car, and now they both in the back seat. So I'm like, whoa. And at that point, I was ready to go home. Mind you, this is hours after the live now. The night has been long. We've been outside for a while. It's later. It's dry everywhere. There's no sign that it ever drizzled. The drizzle was so light, we didn't need an umbrella. It just came down lightly. It was like a couple minutes, and that was hours prior. So it's dry outside, and of course, we're all intoxicated. So I honestly didn't even remember it drizzled earlier, you know? And that was a fatal thing to forget. So now I'm driving on the highway. I'm going super fast, and we're playing trap hood, you know, type of music that just makes you go even faster. You know what I'm saying? I'm there ripping it. Woo, 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 woo. I went over 140 miles an hour.
whoa, whoa.
Let me say that again. And usually when people ask me about this story, I don't like to mention the speed, but I was going over 140 miles per hour on the highway, on the Belt Parkway in Brooklyn. And if anybody who's watching this is from New York, you know the Belt Parkway is full of active drivers and is wild. But it was like 2 in the morning, so it wasn't that many cars out. And that was lucky for us. Either way, as we're reaching the exit to drop off my first friend, my young lady friend, I start to try to slow down. And when I put my foot on the brake to slow down the vehicle, the car did something called hydroplaning, which means because the tires are wet, yes, even though it looked dry outside, the tires did get wet. When the tires are wet, they stop, like they freeze. They're not able to move. As the tires stopped, the car started to lose control. And I'm holding the steering wheel, trying my best to steer the car and straighten it out. And this is when you realize how powerless you really are in this metal machine, because this thing is going fast. You're just a regular piece of meat sitting inside this machine going super fast. If anything goes wrong with this, you have no power. And I realized that in the instant. I was powerless to stop this car from spinning out. So what happened was, as it hydroplaned and I couldn't stop the car, the divider on the highway, which is fully concrete, the car hit it. It banged straight into the divider. And when it hit the divider, it started to spin outwards on the highway. Mind you, I'm lucky that it was 2 a.m. because there was no oncoming traffic as we spun outward. If there was oncoming traffic as the car was spinning out of control, I wouldn't be here to do this video with you. And most likely and unfortunately, my two friends who I was in charge of keeping safe as the driver may have also ended up truly harmed. That's what really hurt me the most, was the fact that I had two passengers who are my friends who I endangered due to me being irresponsible and reckless driving this vehicle while intoxicated. It doesn't matter if the night has passed by and you feel like you've sobered up enough. It's not a good idea to drive intoxicated. And that's something that I took away from that. But anyways, as we spun out and the car reached a stop, first of all, the airbag deployed like a motherfucker. Boom! The instant the car stopped, I turned and looked at both of my friends and I'm like, yo, are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? And they were telling me they were all right. So at this point, I'm just like shocked. So now I'm gonna show you guys the aftermath of the accident. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. The whole left side is kaput, airbag deployed, rear end light, the front light smashed. Of course, after you've had an accident, ambulance, police are on their way. There was still a bottle of Hennessy in the car, half empty Hennessy in the back of the car. Not to mention whatever cups of drinks we had splashed all over me. So I took the shirt off, ripped it off. Shirt was soaked in Henny and cranberry juice. The police come through and they just see me there with no shirt on. And I'll tell you one thing, that accident sobered me up very expeditiously. Like, they didn't even suspect that I had been drinking that night. And we had a short exchange. I had told him what happened, that I was driving really fast, I slowed down, boom. You know, and the ambulance came, checked on everybody, and we were lucky, you know, because there was the bottle right there in the back of the car. If they had looked, I'd have got a DUI. That would have changed my whole trajectory of my life, dog. But I didn't get one that night. I was so fortunate, but I'm so thankful that nothing happened to my peoples. Like, that would have just, like, I don't even know how I would feel if I was responsible for something terrible happening to any of my friends because of something foolish that I did. But I learned my lesson. 1, don't drink and drive. 2, speeding's not worth it. I used to be a speed demon at that time. Like, if I saw somebody trying to go too fast, I'm a breeze past you. Like, if the highway is open, I'm out there doing at least 80, 90. Just woo! Like, and it was fun. It was exhilarating, but it's not worth it. Especially if this piece of junk that we call a car, if something happens to it and you're stuck in this fast moving shit, you're done. You have no power to stop it. And I had to learn that the hard way. Anyways, all I had to show for it was a cookie on my forehead, which I'm about to show you in this clip right here.
Yo, I don't know what I'm doing with my head, son.
And I'm assuming that was because of the airbag. It happened so fast, I don't know what hit me in the head. But I think it was the airbag deploying. Just smacked the shit out of me. I don't speed anymore. In fact, it took me a while to gain confidence driving again because I was traumatized. I get too close to the barrier of the highway and I start to get nervous. Or if somebody driving too close to me, I got nervous. Sometimes I still feel a little nervous. So I learned my lesson from driving crazy. I don't drive wild anymore. Thank God nothing happened to me or my people. And I'm just glad that I'm here. I could tell y'all about it so y'all don't repeat the same foolish mistakes that I made.